Hey guys, what's going on? BMcG here, and today we have a video on my Rank 2 Unawakened Captain America Infinity War. And a lot of people might be wondering, why would I rank 2 in Unawakened Captain America Infinity War? And I hope to show you guys why I did so in this video. So we're going to start with just a normal damage showcase like we normally do. And this guy is not lacking in the damage category at all. He is one of the harder hitting science champions in the game, and I think a lot of people tend to forget that because his signature ability is very strong, but it relies on teammates of different classes being on the team for him to get certain benefits. So like Tech allows him to petrify, and Cosmic allows him to armor break, and Skill allows him to purify. But in a scenario where you have no team members, the signature ability does absolutely nothing for you. So, situation I'm speaking of is Battlegrounds. Battlegrounds is content where synergies are not taken into account, or team members are not taken into account. So, the signature ability that everyone loves so much is absolutely useless in Battlegrounds. But like I said, this guy is not lacking at all in the damage category. Even when the Special 2 doesn't crit, you're dealing so much damage simply from parrying and heavying that it's honestly kind of ridiculous. So I showed you guys Captain Marvel, sorry about that. No Special 2 crits, and now I'm going to show you guys Juggernaut, where we get some nice crits that makes this fight go pretty quick. Another cool thing about Captain America is that he counters Unstoppable, and he just nullifies it if he has a kinetic potential. So if the opponent goes unstoppable, you dash at them and hit them. You have to strike them, you can't hit their block, and then you remove the unstoppable, which is really cool, and it's solid utility because unstoppable is somewhat common in the Mystic class. Like, I know Juggernaut goes unstoppable, but he's easily stopped with a parry. Mangog can go unstoppable, and I feel like Captain America Infinity War, his like base kit was built for a game that like wasn't exactly there yet, if that makes any sense. Like, that's how I feel about Sunspot, and I'll get into a video on Sunspot eventually. But like, these champs are just so good in like broad general uses that it feels like they were designed for Battlegrounds way before they came out. But before we get into the Battleground stuff, I do want to show you guys a large reason why I ranked Captain America up, and that's how strong his synergies are that he sends to other people. So with a science champion, Hulk is in this synergy. You reduce the attack rating on the opponent when you're not being struck. So stuff like Hazard Shift, what I'm showing here, the damage that you take is significantly reduced. It's reduced by half. So you guys can see if you zoom in on the clips there, we are taking 50% less damage from the Incinerate on this Hazard Shift Incinerate node, which I think is pretty strong and it's really solid. Next up, there's the Tech Synergy. This one is with Iron Man and a couple other people, but Iron Man's the best. And this drains the opponent's power after they launch a special attack. So I went to the Annoying Hyperion just to show you guys how strong this is, because he's continuously gaining power during his specials, but he's just going to be drained right afterwards. So in extreme scenarios, this synergy is very strong for power control. And you guys can see that I'm having an easier time on the bottom clip. That's the one where I have the synergy, because he's constantly getting his power drained, and I'm not having to, you know, really get risky here with like these special baits. And you know, Surging Swarm helps because Surging Swarm makes the opponent more aggressive, and then, you know, if they have an opening to throw a special attack, they will. But you can watch the top one, and I'm kind of like losing control of the fight here because you know, the power is getting out of control. But the bottom one is just, it's pretty simple. I did these both on the first try. I didn't have any issues, so they're both solos. And the top one's actually just a little bit faster, which I thought was funny, but I was in way more control, or I was in better control in the bottom one. So I thought that would be fun to show you guys. Next up, I wanted to show you guys the difference in special damage because the mutant one gives prowess, so you guys can see there's like an 8,000 damage difference there. Next up, we're going against Captain Marvel with the Nullify synergy. So when you nullify, you deal a burst of damage. I think it's 30% of attack, which is like 3,000 extra damage on every single nullify for Spider-Man Supreme, I think is what the number was. I can't really see it right now, but at the end of this clip, the top one was like 60 seconds and the bottom one was 50 seconds. So it's quite the difference. It's actually really strong. The only issue with the synergy is that you need to carry around like Doctor Strange, Thor, Jane Foster, and I think Scarlet Witch is the other one. So like the synergy partners aren't the best, but they're fine. And then lastly, I wanted to show you guys the difference between the buff duration, because this synergy with Gamora gives Cosmic Champs plus 25% buff duration, which is huge. Cosmic Champs are known for their buffs, and making them 25% longer is actually really, really good, especially when someone like Gamora needs to refresh her buffs with her heavy. If you're not using heavies and slowing down your rotation or your loop, you're just going to keep hitting the opponent, and that allows you to keep ramping faster, so you're not taking as many breaks and pauses. So the difference here in fight time is going to be, I think, like 10 seconds here too. So it's a really strong synergy, and he has all these synergies in his base kit that go out to other champions, and it's pretty awesome. He's very good on his own, but he also has these synergies that just buff his teammates, and it's really fun for like I was in Act 8.3, and like slotting him in when I was using a certain class was always fun. But now we're getting into the stuff that everyone cares about, and this is Battlegrounds. So I think this is like a rank 3 Sasquatch or a rank 4 low Sig. I can't control who I face. This is in the victory track, I believe. So, you know, it kind of sucks that this isn't a high ranked Sasquatch, but it shows you just how strong his basics are and his heavies are. So you guys will see here, I'm going to go for the special 2, it doesn't crit, and then I'm able to go in here with a couple combos and close out the fight. So pretty solid fight there. It would have been a little bit longer if it was a like rank 4, rank 5, or 7 star. But next up we have Bishop, and this is a fun fight. Bishop has, I think, negative physical resistance, so this allows Captain America to just pop off and hit some really decent sized crits here against him. But the whole goal here was to not let him throw a special 1 and just, you know, block bait heavies, because the block proficiency is so high. With this scoring change, like, you really want to keep your health high, and not parrying and just blocking these attacks, you're still taking minimal damage. Like right here, I'm going to block the first part of the special 2. I blocked the whole thing, actually. I thought I was going to dex out, but I only lost a couple percent health, and he had like 20 something prowess. So he's pretty good. I think that was pretty solid for, you know, a champ who absolutely needs his awakened ability. Am I right? But yeah, I thought that was a solid fight. Next up we have America Chavez. Now this is a rank 2 America Chavez, so it's, you know, punching on like even levels. So this is rank 2 Cap, rank 2 America Chavez, so it's gonna be a pretty straightforward fight. She is a tactic defender, and Captain America is a tactic attacker. That is why we're getting all these wither debuffs on her, because we're immune to the placebo buffs that she's trying to place. Right there, almost a 40,000 heavy. You can count it as a 40,000 heavy if you count the relic damage that I'm dealing. I'm getting like 1,200 damage extra on every single hit because of the relic that I'm using, and there, she's gone. So yeah, that was really solid, I guess. I think that's a sub 40-second fight. Can't complain about that. Next up we have Shuri. So a lot of people are like, well, if you can't parry heavy, then you're kind of screwed. Well, that's not exactly true. And as long as you can parry to ramp up your kinetic charges, you're good. You don't have to be able to heavy. You can use your striker to get the heavy opening. So it's actually really cool watching this work, because I feel like strikers kind of like renewed my love for Captain America, if that makes sense. I used him a lot back when I was doing Act 6 Exploration, the 5-star SIG 200, used him for the team building and everything. But like, it's been a blast using Captain America again in Battlegrounds. So right here we're going to go with the Special 2, and then she's gone. So can't complain about that one. That one was pretty good. And that's easy to replicate. So it's pretty solid fight. And if you're like, oh, that was a rank 4 Shuri, doesn't count. Well, here's a rank 2 Shuri that I'm going to go against with the block penetration stat focus. We're getting perfect parries, essentially, taking 0 damage on our parries. And, we're just going to keep parrying and, whittle her down. We're going to try to find an opening here. What I like to do against her is bait the heavy attack and then bait the special 1. And then hopefully she throws the special attack while she's untouchable. That way you're not wasting time waiting the untouchable out. You're like killing 2 birds with 1 stone, essentially, if that makes any sense. But right here I screw up. I thought I was going to get to my special 2 from that heavy attack, but I didn't, which sucks, but it is what it is. I just wanted to show you guys that even if you do make mistakes using Captain America, he still puts up a solid score. So we just need to get this next special 2 off, which is not going to be hard to do. We just need to, find an opening here. We get to our 2 bars of power, and now we need to bait the special 2 out of her. But I decided to be risky and charge a heavy and just throw the special 2, and we get it. So I got lucky there, but that could have been a lot cleaner. It probably would have gone a lot faster if I didn't throw this special 1 and waited for my special 2. But next up we have Atuma. A lot of people don't realize that Atuma is, he's got all these non-damaging debuffs on himself, and the whole thing with the attack tactic is that you take a % less, I think it's damaging effects when they're suffering from non-damaging debuffs, I believe is what it is. It also might just be debuffs in general. I think it's just debuffs in general. But the point I'm trying to make is that Atuma is hurting his defender value because he's ramping up, which I think is hysterical. And he's gone. So I thought that fight was fun. This dude is probably super shocked to see the result there. A lot of people aren't really realizing how strong this attack tactic is. They're kind of like over-relying on it, but also underutilizing it, which is kind of weird. I really like this whole Battlegrounds meta season. I thought it was really good. I really liked the whole hazard shift. I thought it was a fun way to make every defender threatening, if that makes sense. But next up we've got Spidey Supreme, and this looks to be a rank 5. Or I'm pretty sure it's a rank 5, because a rank 4 would be in the low 40,000s. Right there I was slow on my heavy charge. We get the striker, and we're just going to combo and finish him off. So really, really quick stuff there. Can't complain about that fight speed. Next up we have another Atuma, since the first one was like a high Sig rank 3, low Sig rank 4, can't remember. So I think this is a rank 5. It might be an Ascended Atuma. But what we're doing here is just ramping him up just a little bit so we can get these concussions up on him. That way we can easily take no damage from his thorns. And now we're just going to get this parry heavy going. We're going to try to block as much as we can to build our kinetic potential. But we're going to have to parry every now and then to drop his hydration. But this guy's very heavy happy. He loves throwing heavy attacks, and I can easily punish those with my with my heavy attack. But we're just dumping the hydration here, and now we go for the heavy into the striker, and then we go for the heavy or the special 2, and it didn't crit. There's 10 seconds left till we hit the 60-second mark, but we have to get the special 2 out, and then now he's unstoppable. So we just need to parry, and he allowed us to. And now we're just gonna whittle him down with a couple more heavy attacks. One last one here. I could have tapped his block, but I didn't want to dash at him and have him throw his special 1 at me. That's been happening a lot lately, where the opponent special intercepts me. But can't complain about that fight there. Lastly, we have this fight here against Kindred. This fight, the way I do it, is only really doable with these tactics going on. Every time we make contact with Kindred, they try to place a placebo buff on us, and Captain America is a tactic attacker. Therefore, he's immune to these buffs that Kindred tries to place onto us. So we are going to dump our special 1 here early. That way we're dumping power, because you want to have a special banked for when Kindred roots you, when you push them to 1% health. I think it's 5% is where it triggers, but in this fight, the heavy would have KO'd Kindred. Instead, they, don't die at 1%. And yeah, you guys will see pretty quickly here what I mean. So we go in here, eat a little combo. It's not a big deal because Kindred has pillow hands. And this next heavy attack here will in fact root us, and then we just have to drop the special 2 and Kindred's down. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully I shed some light on why Captain America is solid without his dupe. If you enjoyed, hit like, and I will see you guys for the next video or stream. Peace out.